I was going to read Penelope this morning for Bloomsday. Not the whole thing, just the opening. Um, Even though the ending's more beautiful than the opening. But I started crying, and I was not about to put out a video of myself crying. So, uh, I know it's silly that so many people care about this book. But yeah, it's only as crazy as how much anybody likes any other book. It's just that James Joyce's Ulysses is notoriously difficult, except for not except, especially the first three chapters. Sometimes he's too clever, yeah, and to understand why he was doing that um, certainly helps pushing the boundaries of the novel. Um, Also, you have to like stream of consciousness. Um, Not everyone does. So, I'm going to read the opening to Calypso. Sometimes I think that people should skip directly to Calypso, except just chapter 4 of Ulysses, except that you really probably do need that foundation in the beginning of the first three chapters. If you read the first three chapters and you don't like it, don't continue reading. This is probably why they're some of the most notoriously difficult to get through. When I was in Ireland and I was studying this, someone told me that those are the only chapters that they read. In school was the first three chapters. Um, but let's go ahead and we'll start. Mr. Leopold Bloom ate with relish the inner organs of beasts and fowls. He liked thick giblet soup, nutty gizzards, a stuffed roast heart, liver slices fried with crust crumbs, fried hen cod's roses. Most of all, he liked grilled mutton kidneys, which gave to his palate a fine tang of faintly scented urine. Kidneys were in his mind as he moved about the kitchen softly, writing her breakfast things on the humpy tray. Gelid light and air were in the kitchen, but out of doors gentle summer morning everywhere made him feel a bit peckish. The coals were reddening. Another slice of bread and butter. 3, 4, right. She didn't like her plateful. Right. He turned from the tray, lifted the kettle off the hob, and set it sideways on the fire. It sat there, dull and squat, its spout stuck out. Cup of tea soon. Good. Mouth dry. The cat walked stiffly round a leg of the table with tail on high. Meow. Oh, there you are, Mr. Bloom said, turning from the fire. The cat mewed in answer and stalked again stiffly round a leg of the table, mewing. Just how she stalks over my writing table. Prrr, scratch my head. Prrr. Mr. Bloom watched curiously, kindly, the lithe black form, clean to see the gloss of her sleek hide, the white button under the butt of her tail, the green flashing eyes. He bent down to her, his hand on his knees. Milk for the pussins, he said. Meow, the cat cried. They call them stupid. They understand what we say better than we understand them. She understands all she wants to. Vindictive, too. Wonder what I look like to her. Height of a tower? No. She can jump me. Afraid of the chickens she is, he said mockingly. Afraid of the chook-chooks. I never saw such a stupid pussens as the pussens. Cruel. Her nature. Curious mice never squeal. Seem to like it. Meow, the cat said loudly. She blinked up out of her avid and out of her shame-closing eyes, mewing plaintively and long, showing him her milk-white teeth. He watched the dark eye-slits narrowing with greed till her eyes were green stones. Then he went to the dresser, took the jug Hanlon's milkman had filled for him, poured warm bubbled milk on a saucer, and set it slowly on the floor. "Grrr!" she cried, running to lap. He watched the bristles shining wearily in the weak light as she tipped 3 times and looked lightly. Wonder, is it true if you clip them, they can't mouse after? Why? They shine in the dark, perhaps the tips. Or kind of feelers in the dark, perhaps. He listened to her licking lap. Ham and eggs? No. No good eggs with this drought. Want pure fresh water. Thursday, not a good day either for mutton kidney at Buckley's. Fried with butter, a shake of pepper. Better a pork kidney at Zolkik's while the kettle is boiling. She lapped slower, then licking the saucer clean. Why are their tongues so rough? To lap better, all poor as holes. Nothing she can eat? He glanced around him. No. On quietly creaking boots, he went up the staircase to the hall, paused by the bedroom door. She might like something tasty. Thin bread and butter she likes in the morning. Still, perhaps, once in a way. He said softly in the bare hall, I'm going round the corner, be back in a minute. And when he had heard his voice say it, he added, You don't want anything for breakfast? A sleepy, soft grunt answered, No. She did not want anything. He heard then a warm, heavy sigh, softer, as she turned over, and the loose brass quoits, I don't know how to pronounce that, cots, of the bedstand jingle. Must get those settled, really, pity. All the way from Gibraltar. Forgotten any little Spanish he knew. Wonder what her father gave for it. Old style. Ah, yes, of course. Bought it at the governor's auction. Got a short knot, hard as nails at a bargain, old Tweedy. Yes, sir. At Plevna, that was. I rose from the ranks, sir, and I'm proud of it. Still, he had brains enough to make that corner in the stamps. Now that was far-seeing. His hand took his hat from the peg over his initialed heavy overcoat and his lost property off his second-hand waterproof. Stamps. Sticky back pictures. Dare say lots of officers are in the swim, too. Of course they are. The sweated legend in the crown of his hat. The sweated legend in the crown of his hat told him mutely. Plasto's high grade, ha. He peeped quickly inside the leather headband, white slip of paper, quite safe. On the doorstep, he felt in his hip pocket for the latchkey. Not there. In his trousers, I left off, must get it. Or in the trousers I left off, must get it. Potato I have. Creaky wardrobe. No use disturbing her. She turned over sleepily that time. He pulled the hall door to after him very quietly more. till the foot-leaf dropped gently over the threshold. A limp lid looked shut. All right, till I come back anyhow. He crossed to the bright side, avoiding the loosed cellar flap of number 75. The sun was nearing the steeple of George's church. Be a warm day, I fancy, especially in these black clothes. Feel it more. Black conduits refracts it? The heat. But I couldn't go in that light suit. Make a picnic of it. His eyelids sank quietly often as he walked in happy warmth. Boland's bread van delivering with trays our daily, but she prefers it yesterday's loaves, turned over crisp, crowns hot. Makes you feel young. Somewhere in the east, early morning set off at dawn, travel around in front of the sun. Steal a day's march on him. Keep it up. Forever never grow. A day older, technically. Walk along a strand. Strange land. Come to a city gate. Sentry there. Old Ranker too. Old Tweedy's mustaches leaning on a long kind of spear. Wander through on streets. Turbaned faces going by. Dark caves of his carpet shops. Big man. Turco the Terrible. Seated cross-legged, smoking a coiled pipe. Cries of sellers in the streets. Drink water scented with fennel, sherbet. Wander along all day. Might meet a robber or two. Well, meet him. Getting on to the sundown. The shadows of the mosques all along the pillars. Priest with a scroll rolled up. A shiver of trees. Signal. The evening wind. I pass on. Fading gold sky. A mother watches from her doorway. She calls her children home in the dark language. High wall. Beyond strings twang. Night sky, moon, violet. Color of Molly's new garters. Strings. Listen. A girl playing one of these instruments. What do you call them? Dulcimers. I pass.